that I have here says mode. All right, and remember, when we want to negotiate within the menu, which area of the panel am I going to use? Right, the enter button and the up and the down arrows, right? So if I have the mode boxed in, if I press enter, it's just going to change. So what's that say, Sully? Can you see
Single?
it? Say single.
Yep.
And then what's it say, Roxy? Can you see? If I press it again?
Cycle time.
Nope, right up here.
Oh, at mode.
Yep.
Single. It says single
Oh,
again.
it says still says single? Oh, there. Oh, no, there we go. There's my selections. I'm sorry. So what are my other choices?
Reciprocal and
And co-contract. Okay, so Gary, what does co-contract mean?
Tracking at the same time.
Good. So how many channels would I have to use? Two.
Two.
Right? So co-contract. Two channels, two muscles contracting at the exact same time. Kelly, give me an example of a situation that you may want to contract two muscles at the exact same time.
Isometrically,
Okay? Maybe. To achieve what?
stabilization,
Okay. Well, give me two muscle groups.
biceps and triceps comes to mind, but I don't know.
Okay, so if I were wanting to contract both the triceps and the biceps together, what joint would I be stabilizing?
Elbow.
The elbow. Okay, so maybe stabilization. What else? Can anyone think of another situation?
I don't really know if you'd use it for that, but I know like the abs and the
Lumbar.
back extensor stabilize the pelvis. But
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd actually use Russian on that. So it's kind of a.
Yeah, it's kind of a. You're definitely not going to use it
But I
on
know
a
it's a
pregnant woman, right?
No, because I know it's like a co-contraction, but I don't. But I
Right.
don't think you.
Those are the lumbar muscles are a little too deep to kind of get at. The lumbar stabilizers, like your multifidus and your spinalis and your erector spinae, they're a little too deep to get at with the stim, but very, very good idea. What about Jerry's example of function? Remember her CVA example? So if I wanted to work on feeding, what two muscles may I want to co-contract at the same time?
Biceps and coracoides.
Okay, so maybe we want to get the shoulder flexion and the elbow flexion together. What other joints could I? Wrist flexors, right? Okay, so again, thinking function. One of the main situations that I use co-contract at work is status post knee replacement or ACL or meniscus surgery. The VMO likes to go on strike. Doesn't want to initiate contraction, or it's lazy. So I'll co-contract the rectus femoris with the VMO together during a functional activity like a wall slide or a squat, and I get the patient to really try to fire both of those muscles simultaneously. Okay? What about reciprocal? Martha, what's it mean to have a reciprocal contraction? How many channels do you use?
One.
Two, right? Reciprocal, what does that mean? What's another word for reciprocal that you guys know? Close.
Think about our gait pattern, remember?
What's another word for that?
Alternating.
Yeah, alternating. Okay, so what does that mean in terms of stimulation of
When-
muscles?
When one muscle is working, when one muscle's on, the other one's relaxing, and then it switches over.
Good.
If it was like bicep, the bicep would relax and then tricep would.
Good. So what instance or patient situation do you know that that might be helpful for?
Foot drop. And you get the plantar flexors rotate.
So you would stimulate the plantar flexors when?
After.
It's possible. What's another situation?
If you use the big gate, you do the heel strike, the dorsity, and then the other one toe off.
Okay, so that would be a functional example of stimulating the plantar flexors and the dorsiflexors. Good, good. What's another situation for reciprocal? Think about what NMES can be used for.
So you could do the legs and you could do the knee.
I'm sorry, I'm like hard of
You
hearing.
could do the knee too, and extend and then flex. If you have troubles in the
To
quad,
do
you
for
can-
function? Okay, but so we know NMES can be used for strengthening. What else can NMES be used for?
Endurance.
Endurance. What else?
Edema reduction.
Edema reduction. So do you think reciprocal may be helpful for edema reduction?
Yeah.
What if the joint was swollen? Can't I contract one side of the joint, have it relax, and contract the other side of the joint and have it relax and better pump fluid?
Could you put one lower and then one higher, or would it be more opposite?
I see where you're going with that.
Like say it was the
Like
knee,
one
like on the
down.
gastroc to
Mhm.
contract that to bring it up more, and then contract the quads or the hamstrings to.
The only problem with that, very good idea, is venous return will it's like, that whole car uphill, downhill kind of thing. So
you want it all
usually,
going at
yeah,
the-
you want it all kind of going up at the same time, but I appreciate where that thought process went. That was good. All right, what other situation can NMES be used for that reciprocal might be helpful? You have an exam next week. You have an exam next week. Come on, strengthening, edema reduction. What's the other one? Endurance
Spasms.
or spasticity. Okay? So reciprocal can be helpful for that as well. Agonist, antagonist. Agonist, antagonist. Try to get that spasticity to relax.
You didn't remember that.
Okay. You. The whole class. All right, so again, in this mode you're going to pick, okay, based on your situation, which setup is going to be most beneficial for your patient at that time. All right, when you see it, you're going to select the enter button, and it's going to select it for you. Right? Again, go back to the main menu, do a checks and balances with yourself, and double check that what you had hoped to select is what you see on the screen. Okay? Then you're going to scroll down to the next option. All right, cycle time. You're going to push the button, and you're going to get a whole host of choices. You're going to get 1-to-1 ratios, 1-to-3 ratios that are very small, 1-to-3 ratios that are a little bigger, and then a 1-to-5 ratio. So based on where your patient is in the rehab process and what you were hoping to be able to do, you're going to make a choice, okay, based on what your patient's response is. All right, then go down. Frequency. What's another name for that? Rate. Okay, it's measured in what?
Pulses per second.
Or hertz. Good. So if I press enter, I don't have options that come up, but I can arrow up or arrow down based on what I want, to set it for. Okay? So again, what's our range for frequency with use of Russian or NMES? 35 to 50. Again, because what are we looking to achieve? Tetany, right? Can you go above 50? Yeah, you can. What's the drawback? Fatigue. Okay? So on one another, many times you may have to go above 50 so that the current is comfortable enough, because again, what does frequency have a relationship with? Resistance. Okay, so if we increase the frequency, all right, we do what to the resistance?
Decrease it.
Decrease it. All right, so what does that mean, Carlos? We increase the frequency, we decrease the resistance, right? So what should happen with current? Should the patient need more or less to get a stimulus?
Increase.
Decrease, right? Patient should hopefully need less current to get a response. All right, but don't get confused. Frequency doesn't have a direct relationship. It's a theory that if you increase the frequency, decrease the skin resistance, now the skin is more receptive to the current, so you should hopefully need less current. Okay? All right. Next is ramp time. So again, you're going to go down, press the enter button, a menu will come up, you select what you want. What's ramp?
How long it takes to increase the
Gradually.
amplitude.
Right, how long it takes to increase the amplitude to its peak state that you're going to select, okay? You can make your selection. The last option down here is duty cycle, and I'm going to be quite honest with you. I have read lots and lots and lots of articles and still can't figure out what duty cycle is or means, so leave it at 50. I've asked lots of people, and no one can give me a straight answer that I understand or can impart to you. So leave it at 50 because that's really what all the units default to. But duty cycle is it's this total time of on and off. But that's just way too confusing. So we're just gonna leave it at 50.